Thanks for tuning in to Lotus Yoga Online. My name is Chloe. For this particular class, we're working with a lot of root chakra energy, a lot of grounding energy. We're currently, when I'm filming this, we're right on this cusp of New Year, and when we switch to a new calendar year, I always like to go back to basics. I like to kind of weed out all of the fluff of my practice, weed out all of the extras and the fun stuff, and really root into listening. I try to ground my energy by slowing down my breath, and I try to slow down how much I'm moving on my mat so that I can really feel not only the sensations of my physical body, but I can also feel what's happening in my mind. I can listen to my reactions, and that really helps me set, intentions, realize my dreams, figure out exactly what direction I want to be going in, so that I can start embodying that energy on my mat and out there. So I'm going to offer that in this about 30-minute sequence. Let's go ahead and start in child's pose. Bring your big toes to touch and your knees wide. Close your eyes. Let your forehead come down. So you have 5 points of contact. You have your palms, your third eye, and your knee all the way down through your shin to the tops of your feet. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Sigh out. Now close your mouth and begin your Ujjayi breath in and out of your nose. Slow, steady rhythm to get us through this practice. Electrify your arms so they're not just passively resting out in front of you, but you're pushing down through your palms. And then waking up through your shoulders, your core, your hips. Let's take 5 breaths. Work to clear your mind so you're not focusing too hard on any given thought, idea, or direction, but instead you're kind of softening, surrendering, and receiving. Press down through your palms so you have a magnetic connection to the earth. On your next inhale, lift your head, look out towards your hands, and then start to slide your hands a few inches forward so that it lifts your hips, and then you're able to rest your chin, your chest, or your forehead back down in extended puppy pose. If your knees are a little bit wide, feel free to scoot them in so your thighs are parallel. And then again, bring electricity into your arms, activation into your arms. Take 5 breaths. Notice if your mind is dwelling in the past right now, if you're remembering your morning or remembering what you did yesterday, set it aside, step into this present moment. We can begin to realize our dreams by honoring what's happening right now. Focus on your strengths. Focus on what is working well. Your next inhale, lift your head. Come down to your elbows and then slowly draw your whole body forward so that we land in Sphinx pose. Roll back through your shoulders. And then gently pull your body forwards like you're gonna slide your whole body right through your upper arms. We still have this magnetic energy in our palms. Press down, spread out your fingers. And then lift through the crown of your head. Press down into the earth with your elbows. There's always this duality, these multiple directions that we're being pushed and pulled in, even here when we step into posture. Let each expression of your posture be an energetic expression, so you're not so caught up on like the physical form, but you're able to shift focus on how you feel. Keep a really strong connection with your arms, open heart, and now start to turn on your legs. So first you'll lift your kneecaps away from the mat, and then squeeze your glutes, hover your legs up as high as you can, and breathe. This really wakes up the spine, wakes up the nervous system. Welcome this awakening into your whole body. Notice if you tend to hold your breath. Keep letting your breath move. Keep letting your breath energize your practice. For 5 more breaths. Work to straighten your legs as much as you can. And then let yourself kind of rock forward. So you're more on your belly, less on your hips. 2 more breaths. Gently release. Let your head rest on your palms. Slide your hands back by your ribs. Lift up to upward facing dog. Tuck your toes. Straighten your arms as you roll your shoulders back. And then lift your thighs. So you might be an inch or 2 off of the mat. Give yourself a little sway side to side. Downward facing dog, roll back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take 3 full breaths here in our first downward facing dog. A lot of space from heels to hips. And then a lot of space from hips down through our shoulders and chest. We're lengthening the back chain of our body while strengthening the front chain. So pull in with your navel. Press back with your chest. Wrap in with your elbows. That kind of broadens your shoulder blades and gives you a little bit more stability in the shoulder girdle. Your next inhale, lift your right leg up for 3-leg dog. We're gonna hold here. Try not to wiggle too much. You may have to adjust your palms. And then find your roots. Find your magnets right underneath your palms. Energize your right leg. So while our hands are being pulled down into the earth, think of the opposition of a magnet, like when you flip it over and it's being repelled. Create that repelling energy from your left foot to your right foot. 3 more breaths. Try not to twist open. Try not to open your hip. Be right here. Open your hip. Bend your right knee. Extend your right foot over to the right side so you create an L shape with your legs. I even like to look under my right arm so I can see my toes. And now let's pulse. Try not to bend your left arm. Keep your left hand with as much weight as your right hand. Keep pulsing really small with the right leg for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Return your right foot down to the mat. Roll forwards, high plank pose. Come up high, high, high on your toes. Exhale, low plank. Move your heart forwards. Upward facing, breathe in. Downward facing, roll back. Lift your left leg. Lock into your position. Spread out your fingers. Push down through your palms so it elevates your shoulders. And now that repelling magnetic energy in your legs, lift your left leg as high as you can while pressing your right foot down towards the center of the earth. Breathe. When we hold these postures that sometimes we rush through, we really start to hear our reactions. We hear our nervous system. We uncover. Usually I'm just trying to move fast, but right here, there's nowhere to go. Just sit with what is. 3 more breaths. Go through it. Open up your hip, bend your left knee. Now draw your left foot over to the left side, L shape in the legs. Small pulses for your left hip. Strengthen your arms, keep them both straight for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Roll forwards, high plank pose. Work through your spine. Chaturanga with your exhale. Exhale. Inhale, upward facing. Downward facing, press back. Walk your feet all the way up to your hands. Move slow. Just small little steps. When your feet land towards your hands, bring them wide and just sway heavy. Your breath will begin to shift into the soundtrack of your practice, the rhythm of your practice. Interlace your hands at your low back. Lengthen, breathe in. Forward fold, let your hands reach out overhead. You can continue a little sway side to side. Maybe rocking forwards and back on your feet. Spread out your toes. Release your bind. Slowly roll all the way up through your spine. Extended mountain, lift your palms. Add a small back bend. Instead of just pressing your hips forwards and hinging back, try to lift up and then arch over. Strong legs. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Halfway lift, breathe in. Step your left toes to the back of the mat, as far back as you can land. And now bring your hands by your hips for an arrowhead crescent lunge. Roll back with your shoulders. Inhale, lift your palms. For a moment, press through your left heel, almost like you're trying to root your heel back into the earth. Let's try not to hang out here. You can use it to kind of stretch out your Achilles tendon, but now push on the gas with your left foot. Lift your heel, shift your hips forwards. This is where we'll stay. Lift up through your shoulder girdle, open up your chest and breathe. Make sure your left leg is active, so it's not dipping down to the earth, but you're long and straight. Turn on through your glutes and breathe. If you feel really balanced, try to lift your right heel so you've got forced arch on both feet. 5 breaths. Lower your right heel. Warrior 2, open up. So we're opening our right hip. Let your feet come a little bit wider. Extend out through all 10 fingertips. Nice straight line with your arms. If you look down to your right knee, press your right knee back and then draw it forward, sit low. So we want to keep 90 degrees. Knee right over the heel. Turn on your back leg just like it was activated in our crescent lunge. Let it do some of the work right here as well. Steady breath. Steady gaze. While our flow might not be so complex in transitions, the complexity is just in like the art of staying, the art of being. Go through it, 3 more breaths. And really start to hear your legs talking, waking up. Bring your hands to your heart. Straighten your right leg. Lift your right toes so you're on your right heel. And now squat down towards the left heel for Skandasana, yogi squat. I like to turn my left heel in just a little bit so that my knee is in line with my toes, and then I'll kind of lean, using my shoulder and my arm to help open up the left hip. Turn on your right leg, flex your right toes like you're trying to pull your toes back. Full inhale. Exhale, come to the center of your mat, wide leg forward folds. On your inhale, flat back. Lift your tailbone, lift your hips, and then exhale, fold in. Let's start with our hands on the mat for this first wide leg forward fold. Push down into the earth while you pull your chest closer. So it creates this like window grip, almost like you're trying to slide a window open. Breathe. Spread out your toes, lean forwards to the ball mounds of your feet. It's really gonna help open up through your hamstrings, through your inner thighs. 5 breaths. Lengthen. Turn your toes out, heels in. Goddess squat, lift your palms. Press all 10 of your fingertips together. So you're creating a steeple in your arms. Lift. Then pull your hips and your tailbone down towards the earth. Sit as low as you can. Press your knees back. Breathe. When you want to adjust, when you want to come out, just breathe deeper, go through it. You know that we're not here very long. So give yourself more strength, more energy. Be okay with what comes up. Give it your best. Bring your hands to your hips. Maintain this depth in your right leg. Lift your left heel. And now turn to face forwards without releasing the right leg. so that your left knee comes down to a hover. Hold for 3. Tuck your tailbone, squeeze your glutes. 2. And 1. Release your knee. Ground your fingertips. Frame your right foot. On your inhale, plug your shoulders back, lift your chest. And on your exhale, tuck your forehead down to your knee. Try to round through your shoulder girdle. Again, inhale, chest forwards, gaze up. And exhale, forehead to knee. Again, inhale. Exhale. One more time. Half splits. Start to draw your tailbone back. Keep your hips over your left knee, so we're not sitting all the way down to our foot, but instead, we're maintaining this 90 degrees in the left knee. If you need to, slide your right heel just a few inches forwards, not too deep. Now flex your right leg, just like we had in Skandasana. Start to draw your heart towards your toes. Breathe. You are in control. When a class seems too easy or too difficult, you are creating that experience. So there's always, like, all of these classes are just simply a framework for you to use as a guide, but you are in control. You can give more. You can slow down. Ultimately, you are your greatest teacher, just by paying attention, by really listening to your body. Inhale, lengthen. Shift forward, set up half pigeon on the right side. Walk your right foot over behind your left wrist, and then lower your right shin down. If you need a little more space, tuck your back toes, push back through your heel, and then release your hips. It's a good spot for block or blanket underneath your thigh. And let's start with a little heart opening. Press down through your fingers. Lift the crown of your head. Bend your left leg. So you're lifting your left heel up towards your glute. And if you want to add a little bit deeper of a back bend, bring your hands by your sides, and then imagine you could tap your toes all the way to the top of your head. Pull your chest forwards. Breathe. Slowly release. Come down to your elbows. For sleeping pigeon, you may stay on your elbows or rest all the way down onto your leg. Maintain this pace of breath that you have created in our practice so far. Don't lose it just because we are taking a moment to surrender. This is where we need more breath, more awareness. Become really familiar with the sensations in your legs. Like if you're feeling tingling, does that tingle have like heat with it? Any abnormal sensation in your body is just simply like a feeling that you don't necessarily have the other 23 hours of the day. And it doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just different. What can you learn about it? Lift back up to your palms. Imagine you are moving just like a lotus through mud. Take your time. Really feel out the transition as you come into 3-leg dog. Slow it down. Feel out each and every movement. Open up your hip once it's extended. Extend your right foot over to the right side. And then slowly draw your foot down to the earth. Land in your downward facing dog. Roll forwards, high plank pose. Low plank exhale. Upward facing. Downward facing. Breathe in. Open mouth, sigh out. Slowly walk your feet all the way up to your hands. Step your feet wide, sway side to side, just like we did before we took that vinyasa on the right side. Vinyasa is simply a flow. Typically, it's one breath per movement. It's this full union. Right now, we're slowing it down. We're giving ourselves more space, more time to really feel out and embody the energy of each posture. Interlace your hands at your low back. Stretch your arms overhead. Notice if you're bending your knees and kind of sitting back with your hips, see how much you can draw forwards, using your toes as brakes. Release your bind, roll all the way up to stand, extended mountain. Lift your palms, add a back bend. Remember to ignite your body, reach up as high as you can, and then a smooth curve back. Breathe, inhale, exhale. One more breath, inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Step your right toes as far back as you can for our high crescent lunge. Sweep your hands by your hips to start. And then lift your chest and your arms. Stabilize. So it's a lot of core, even in this leg posture, this crescent posture. Push back through your right heel. Stretch your Achilles. Notice the angle of your front leg. Where is your knee in relationship to your heel? And then notice how that feels in your leg. Probably not too active. Press the gas with your right foot. Let your hips shift forwards and down. And now rise with the chest. Turn on your right glute so our back leg is so active. If you feel balanced, elevate your front heel and breathe. 5 breaths. Stay with it. One more inhale. Exhale, release your left heel. Open up, warrior 2. Adjust your feet. Draw your tailbone down, and then your left knee forwards and back. So you feel you're using your own inner strength to create that depth of opening. The strength of your back leg pushes you forwards, and then the strength of the rotation in your hip helps open and broaden your left hip. Breathe, set your arms, lock in your gaze. You're looking just past your left fingertips. Strong as a warrior, embody the warrior energy. If 2020 has taught us anything, it's that we are more resilient, more capable than perhaps we once believed. You are the warrior. Bring your hands to your heart. Skandasana, straighten your left leg, lift your toes, and then sit low towards your right heel. This is opening up more space for our inner hamstrings. But remember the strength. Strengthen your left quad, flex through your left heel. And then use your chest, use your side body to help open up your left hip or your right hip a little bit further. Wide leg forward fold. Hands to the center. Parallel your feet. If you're already pretty open in your hips, try to draw your feet closer so that you have more space for the crown of your head to draw down. Breathe. Get long in your neck. Strong in your legs. Lift your kneecaps. Press down through your toes. Lean into it. Inhale, halfway lift. Turn your toes out, heels in for our goddess squat. Steeple arms. Press all 10 of your fingertips together, but don't flatten your palms. Imagine you're like holding a globe in your hands. Push in and then elevate up while you root down. Sit low. Press your knees back. You want to feel a lot of power in your glutes right here. A lot of power in your core and your center. Tap into your creative energy, your creative destiny. I think we have destiny, which is just kind of where we go, and then we have that creative destiny that we're able to alchemize. We're able to change it along the way based on desire, based on choice. Full inhale. Exhale, hands to your hips. Keep your left leg right where it is. Draw your right knee down, face forwards, and hold. Strong legs for 3, 2, 1. Release your knee and your palms. Inhale, open up your chest as much as you can. Draw forwards. Exhale, forehead to knee. Round through your upper back. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Half splits. Straighten your left leg. Pull back with your tailbone. Try to flatten the lower back. Bow forwards with your heart. Try not to collapse into your shoulders or drop your head, so we're not breaking the energy of the spine, but we're keeping it elongated. Breath flowing and moving this energy in our body. Shift forwards, half pigeon with your left leg. Walk your left foot behind your right wrist. Come down to your shin. Roll your shoulders back, extend the crown of your head to the sky. Squeeze in with your hips. Bend your right knee. Visualize your toe just effortlessly tapping the crown of your head. Don't worry about how close it is. We're moving energetically, taking up space energetically. Sleeping pigeon, release. You can start on your elbows. Make sure you've got a lot of weight on your back leg. Draw your back hip forwards. If you have the space, lower all the way down to your chest and your forehead and breathe. body, the energy of the lotus. Kind of against all odds, the lotus flower blooms in absolute perfection. No mud, no lotus. Come onto your palms and slowly, slowly push your way up and bloom into our 3-leg dog. So imagine you are moving through that mucky water, swamp water. Put a lot of energy and effort in slowly pushing your left leg back and up. So at the very top of your inhale, you land fully open. Open up your hip. Extend your left foot over to the left side, and then slowly lever your leg down. High plank, inhale. Low plank, exhale. Up dog. Downward dog. Breathe in. Sigh out. Child's pose. Continue your breath. Gently rise up, bring your legs through. Land in an easy seat. Try to keep your eyes closed, your breath flowing. Again, mudra with your hands. Tap your index and your thumb tips together so you feel a little energy at your fingers. Breathe. Absorb the experience you just created for yourself. Recognize where you are. Exactly where you stand, exactly where you sit on this day. Surround it with like feeling of contentment, feeling of santosha. Recognizing that exactly where you are is where you're meant to be, even if it's not exactly where you thought you'd be, even if it feels far from where you're going. Allow yourself to dream, to visualize what's possible tomorrow, what's possible next week, next month. Your dreams are within reach. They're right there waiting for you. Instead of seeing all of these stops, all of these blocks, take them as directions. Each one is just gently guiding and pushing you towards your greater dream, your greater destiny, your greater purpose. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold your breath. Relax your shoulders. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Relax your body. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Force in as much air as you can. Hold your breath. Savor this space. Drop your shoulders. Relax your belly. Feel your heart beating. Exhale. Bring your hands to your heart. Rub your palms together. This energy you're creating in your hands, pour it into your heart chakra. Place your right hand on your chest, your left hand just on top. Absorb. Realize your power. Realize your strength. The light in me honors the light within you. Namaste. Thank you so much for tuning into this class. Revisit it anytime that you need. There will be more kind of back to basics style flow coming your way. Thank you.